Hi everyone and welcome to today's video. Hope everyone is well. Today's video is going to be something that I've not really seen many other people talk about on content like what I create, and that is that we focus a lot on the coming out at work. Everyone's obviously, because it's such an important issue for people when they're coming out to people at work, and all the connotations that go with that, and I cover all that in my other video. But one thing that we don't seem to talk a lot about is what is life like after you've came out, and obviously, and anyone that watches my videos, and if they've watched my content before, will know that one of my big things is that my experience is not reflective of everybody. Okay, so just because I'm about to tell you stories and stuff from my experience, it doesn't mean that it's going to be the same for absolutely everybody. Okay, other people will have had totally different experiences, some better than mine, some worse than mine, when it comes to outcomes and how they felt about things at the time. Okay, we're all different. Okay, and I think where I'd like to start with mine is, so after I'd came out at work and sent my email, and then went on holiday while the email was being read out by the different people and whatnot. When I came back from holiday, I think that's when the nerves really kicked in about knowing that I was finally going to get to be me and present at work how I want to look rather than how I felt other people thought I should look. And it was nerve-wracking. It was really, really nerve-wracking because you think to yourself, well, how are people going to take me? Will everybody know? If you send an email, you're kind of relying on people actually seeing it, And yeah, I was really, really nervous and really scared about what people's reactions were going to be to seeing me dressing and looking more feminine than I normally would. Now, I'd already been wearing makeup, to an extent for what I could get away with without people clocking me, which is a term for knowing that I'm trans. And I think people were prepared for that, but obviously I hadn't been wearing things like lipstick or eyeshadow or anything like that, things that were more, stereotypically femme. And yeah, it was really nerve-wracking. And I remember the first day, I got myself dressed. I spent ages getting dressed for work that day, and I got in my car, and there was like a big car park next to where I used to work. I used to work for the local council where I live, and a lot of people park there. Obviously, it's a car park, so that will not come as news to you. And it was getting closer and closer to the start of my shift. Now, it's about a 2-3 minute walk to my workplace from there, and I was sat there, and then I just remember seeing this car pull up next to mine, and I thought, oh God, no, someone's going to look in the car and see me. And suddenly all them kind of early worries that you have when you first start, going out in public looking how you want to look, and they all kind of got dredged back up, and I was just sat there in the car having a bit of a mild panic attack about it and thinking, oh my God, this is happening. Maybe I should just turn the damn car around and go home, and I was really, really freaking out. And this car pulled up alongside mine, and I looked over and had a quick glance, and it was my manager, my friend, my manager, and who I won't name him, and I'll try not to drop his name in here, but he was the manager of my department, and he pulled up, and he got out the car, and I think he lit up a fag or something, and that's a cigarette to American viewers, by the way. And I put the window down. I said, "Hi, are you okay?" And he says, "Yeah, I'm good." He says, "But how are you doing? You all right?" I says, "No, I'm not really. I'm kind of freaking out, to be honest." I said, "I don't like to show weakness, but I am freaking out here." He says, "Look, I thought you might be. That's why I specifically came into this car park rather than the manager's car park, so I could come find you and make sure that you were okay." He said, "So I'll walk you into work," and he did, and then I got a little escort into work that day. And first person that I saw when I got there was my supervisor at the time, and he was really lovely about it. To be honest, he was really keen and quick to want to use the correct pronouns and stuff, and obviously he was quick to say, look, if I get it wrong, I'm sorry, I'm trying to assimilate and learn here as I go along. And he was really good about it. And I had my first day, and you know what, it wasn't as worth being as scared as what I was in the car. It really wasn't. It wasn't perfect. There was things that were said that weren't fantastic. I'll be totally honest with you, that it wasn't, there was one thing, and I don't want to focus on the negative. I'd like to think I'm giving you a fair and balanced account of what happened here, but there was one time when I went, because we did like house parts, so like radiators, anything that went into a house is what we used to supply. And I went to get a radiator, and I went to pick this radiator up, and the chap that I was giving the radiator to, he said, "Oh, should you be lifting that? Let me lift that." And I says, "No, don't be daft." I says, "I'm still as strong as what I was. I've not started hormones or anything yet, so I'm still strong. I can lift a radiator. Why can't I lift a radiator for you?" And I lifted the radiator up, and he looked at me and he went, "Oh wow, you're really strong for a woman, aren't you?" And for me, that was a little bit of a dig. I thought so anyway. It might have just been banter, but for me, that kind of felt like a bit of a crappy thing to say, because it did make me feel uncomfortable. So that's something I would try and put across from this video. If you're watching this from the outside looking in, is that you might think it's a little bit of a joke. But when it comes to things like dysphoria, which is the feeling that we have of disconnect from our gender, or being in the wrong gender as it were, is once you give it food like that, a little innocuous joke to you, it can run wild for us. It's not to say that we can't take a joke, but I'm just saying try and be careful of little things like that you say. Always try and keep that in the back of your mind. And so that was one of the little things that happened. When it came to people getting my pronouns correct and stuff, largely it was fine. By and large, most people got my pronouns right. The people that see, this is going to sound odd, but hear me out here. The people that seemed to be better getting my pronouns right were the people that I knew less. So the people that I spoke to less often that came into work, and that didn't really know me that well, seemed to just like that, they were dead good at it, at getting it right. The times that it seemed to be getting wrong was the people that actually, I'd like to think cared for me the most, the people that I worked with on a daily basis. And I don't blame them for that, because it was very difficult for them to undo 6 or 7 years, or how long I'd been working there for before I transitioned, of using my old name and old pronouns. It was difficult. They're like family. You've got to treat it like a family member. They've got a lot of unlearning to do there, and they've got to make an effort. And they really did make an effort. A lot of them, in fact all of them, every one of my immediate colleagues made an effort to get it right. And yeah, they did slip up, and I did have to remind them. And it was just one of those things. It happens. And by and large, it was a really good experience, and they were super keen to want to learn. And that's the other thing as well that'll happen when you come out of work. I think once you've made yourself vulnerable in that way by saying, look, I'm trans, I'm out, and you've revealed what you might deem a vulnerability to yourself anyway, you will find more often than not that other people will start feeling comfortable in opening up to you. And that's something that I had quite a bit at the council, was that all of a sudden people who were struggling with their mental health or their home life or their relationships or whatever, because because you'd opened yourself up in such a way and made yourself so honest and so vulnerable and just so exposed to the world, they felt comfortable doing that with you. And, you know, you've got to look after your own boundaries. You've got to be able to put those things in place, because it's so easy to get swept up in other people's things that's going on, you know, and you've got enough to actually be dealing with. But that's the bad side. The good side is that people are opening up to you, and you can make a real difference to these people's lives. You know, you can help them out, you can, you know, they're trusting you, and there's a massive amount of respect being shown to you when people do that, you know. And what good is it if we can't help people, you know? Help people if they're reaching out to you like that. Do what you can, help them out, give them advice, you know, or listen. Just listening, such a big deal, you know, just listen to them. And yeah, that's something that you need to prepare yourself for in the workplace when you come out, is that depending on the culture that you have at work, more people will probably feel able to want to open up to you on a deeper level than what you might normally be used to. The other thing about work after it came out that really did start getting me, and I know I get it, a lot of women are going to probably sit there and say, well, you know, yeah, that's just what it's like, you know. It's different getting yourself dressed every single day for work, and I didn't appreciate how much effort goes into making yourself look a certain way and making yourself look presentable and feeling like you're showing the world that you're almost not functioning properly if you don't look absolutely brilliant all of the time. And you do kind of have like a massive expectation on you to want to look pristine when you turn up at work. And it's tiring. It's really tiring. Like, you'll have to wake up earlier in the morning depending on how much makeup you want to put on. It's fine, by the way, to not wear makeup to work if you're a trans woman. You don't have to, okay? You absolutely don't have to. The hang-up was entirely mine, okay? And certainly no one was putting the impression on me that I should be doing that. It was entirely my thing. But gosh, did I have to wake up early to try and make myself look presentable, and, you know, things that I just didn't give a stuff about prior to transitioning, like, was my top ironed, or was my trousers in any fit state to be worn, you know, because I'd been crawling around in the yard the previous day getting stuff up off the floor and God knows what else. And you put this massive weight of expectation on yourself, and god damn is it tiring, because like I say, you put a lot of effort in, and it's something that you have to prepare yourself for after you've came out at work, and it starts becoming your real life, your everyday life, is that it's no longer just a case of putting your makeup on because it's fun in the evening and you want to feel like yourself for a couple of hours. You're doing it because that's your life now, you know, and that's what it feels like, or that's how it felt to me anyway. So yeah, it's a mixed bag once you've came out at work. There will be tons of good things, okay? Once you get there, it's totally worth it. It's totally worth coming out at work, okay? If you are privileged enough to have a job and you're working, okay? Do it. You'll feel better for it, okay? I promise you. But is it absolutely perfect and all rainbows and dancing? No, it's not. There are things that are going to still bug you about work, okay? There's things... People are going to slip up, people are going to get your gender wrong, you're going to have to correct them, you're going to be asked questions, you're going to have to try and deal with that, or put boundaries in place to make it so you don't have to deal with it, okay? But it's probably going to happen, is what I'm getting at, okay? And by and large, my experience was so ultra positive. I got promoted when I was working there after I came out as trans. I made so many more new friends that I hadn't had before, because we just hadn't really had reason to talk prior to that, you know, or I hadn't felt comfortable talking to them for one reason or another, you know. And you meet so many nice people, and it just opens up a whole, God, this is cheesy, a whole new world to you, okay? So go ahead and do it, all right? Don't let the little voice put you off, okay? And I'm sorry if anything that I've said in this video has triggered you, okay? I do apologize. It's not something that I try to do. I just try to give an honest account of what it's like and what it was like for me. Okay, and yeah, there was loads of good, but there was some bad. Okay, and you've got to be careful. You've got to make sure you've got your support network in place. You've got to make sure you've got friends that you can talk to. And friends and support at work will come in hugely handy. Okay, because honestly, one of the things that struck me, and if this helps put people's mind at rest, was how many people were willing to jump to the front line to defend me when I wasn't there. Okay, now I've always had the attitude of, if I'm not there, do what you want. All right, people are people at the end of the day. Some people have this inane ability to just talk crap about people when they're not there. Okay, and whatever, you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it. Okay, there's nothing I can do to stop that. Okay, it's not something I want to partake in. It's up to them. Okay. But on the times it happened about me, and I'm not saying that people were being overtly transphobic, but if people were using the wrong name and pronouns on purpose and weren't making any effort whatsoever, how many of my colleagues actually jumped up and said, "Oi, that's not right. You know, Rachel's a she. Use she. You know, it's Rachel. It's not that other name." And I'm ever so grateful for that. You know, I don't need people to white knight for me. Okay, I really don't. I can talk myself out of most situations. All right, I'm quite good at that. But it was just nice that people actually thought so much of me to actually defend me when I wasn't there, and they took it upon themselves without me having to ask them or making them feel like that's something they should be doing. They just went ahead and helped me. And if any of those people are watching the video, thank you. I know who you are, and I appreciate it. Okay, I really do. And yeah, so that's it. That's a little taster, I guess, of what it's like when you've came out at work and what happens after that. Okay, share your experiences. I want to hear in the comments, what was life like for you after you came out at work? What happened? What changed? You know, did you have good times? Do you have bad times? Let me know in the comments. Okay, that would be great. All right, thank you very so much, ever so much even. Boring part, like, comment, subscribe. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe. It gives me a little bit of a kick when I see the subscribe count going up. We've gone over 300 now, which is fab. Thank you very much. And yeah, great. I'll see you next time. All the best. Take care. Bye.